As we said before, we've got our swish, we have our anchors, and we have our induction as methods to build a new you. A future you that you can stir your brain with, that can be a focus point, that can help you move forward towards the future. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun. Alright, let's jump in. So the first one we have here is the Swish Pattern, as it's known in NLP, which is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. That was the words, the mind, and the patterns that we have in our brain that are a clue to what's really going on inside. So the Swish Pattern is one of the NLP techniques, and I want to share that with you today. So let's jump in. We have the swish. We'll start with that one. And with the Swish Pattern, what we have is two images, image 1 and image 2. We're going to create these images in our mind. Image number 1 is the existing situation. This is often an image like biting your nails or something like that, something simple. But the Swish Pattern can go much, much deeper with a lot more preparation. But we're going to keep it simple today for anxiety and your anxiety antidote, the Swish Pattern. So the first image is your existing situation. For a nail biter, it would be your hand coming up to your mouth. But for anxiety, it's going to be your trigger. Okay, so that's very important. If we know what the thing is that you feel anxious about, what it is that maybe triggers it off, maybe it's a series of thoughts, or maybe it's something happens, maybe it's someone being mad or angry at you, whatever it might be, or maybe it's worry and you feel the worry come up, that is the point where we're going to then hit this Swish Pattern. So the first thing is creating an image in your mind of your anxiety. Now, if that's hard for you to do because you don't have a simple hand coming up to the mouth as a trigger picture, you might need something to help you evolve that. So the first part is creating image number 1, which is your existing anxiety. Okay, image number 1. This is your existing anxiety. Now, if you don't know about an image, if there's one that you can't create, if it's hard for you, just picture a moment when you feel anxious. One that happens on a regular basis. One that's annoying you. One that you know very well. And I want you to imagine this picture, and I want you to imagine this picture looking out of your own eyes. What are you seeing in that moment when you're feeling anxiety? What are you feeling? What are you hearing? And create a picture that in your mind's eye, of you looking out of your own eyes, which means you're associated, that's what that means, and that's going to be your anxiety image. Now, before we lock this in as the image you'll play with, I want you to think about what the trigger is, because the trigger is vital. If you can find your trigger, you will do very well with the Swish Pattern, because it will become automatic in the future when we do this long enough and for enough repetitions. It'll start to, your brain is an incredible machine. It will pick up this Swish Pattern and find you finding your anxiety antidote. So, what's your trigger? Now, maybe it is someone gets angry. Maybe it is the thought that you've missed something and you got very anxious. Or maybe it's just overthinking. There's a good trigger point where you just find your mind racing along. Or maybe it's catastrophic thinking, where you feel that catastrophic thought of, you think of the worst possible thing that could happen. I want you to just take note of what that is. Give yourself a moment. Your trigger. What is your trigger? And take this trigger and put it into the picture. What are you seeing out of your own eyes when that happens? Put it into the picture. so that when that trigger happens, you can have that picture ready and you can start to swish it. What will happen though is that this picture will eventually be hard to get back because you'll have swished over the top with a brand new picture. Okay, so do you have your anxiety picture? I think you know your anxiety pretty well, so let's not dwell too much on this. Have a picture with a trigger. That's step number 1, the anxiety. Okay, now you'll see on the board here, I've also got the word whiteboard. And that is where I want you to imagine that you've wiped out that image of your anxiety just for a moment, and you're left with just a whiteboard, kind of like this one, but with nothing on it. Okay, so I want you to imagine the whiteboard with nothing on it. Okay, that's going to be the interrupter, the in-between image when we do the swish. Okay, so remember that, or you might just be wiping out your mind with your imaginary eraser. So you end up with a blank page. Okay, let's bring back the other one now. Now, let's work on image number 2. Image number 2 is your future self. Now, we want to build an anxiety antidote, right? And so an anxiety antidote requires the antidote. What is the antidote to anxiety? It could be calm, it could be relaxed, it could be centered and grounded. Safe is a good one. If you're racing thoughts, catastrophic, you're not feeling safe. We've gone through this course and thought about a bunch of things that we can do to help with your anxiety. And along the way, there'll be some words that will be your antidote to calm yourself down. It's the thing that you need to hear. And by the end of this module, you'll have some more things to write down and really start to focus in on the future, on what it is you really want to feel, how you want to see yourself, and how you'd like to move forward and behave in your life. Well, when you have your anxiety antidote, what is it for you? What's the word? Think about it for a moment. What is the word for you? I would go with safe, secure, and calm as a starting point. That's a wonderful starting point. But you might have something that's specific for you. And now I want you to think about a time in your life when you were totally calm, totally relaxed, totally secure, and just flowing. What is it for you? There'll be something. Maybe you were in a yoga session. Maybe you were having a massage and you were just totally no problems whatsoever, secure and safe and relaxed. I want you to think of that picture. What did you see? What did you feel? What did you hear? What did you say in your head? I know with myself, I would just say, I'm relaxed and it feels so good. Not a care in the world. It's good to be with nature. I'm thinking about times when I'm walking through the rainforest. I'm walking on the beach, just enjoying the vibration of the sound of the waves as they hit the shore. Excellent. So you've got an image. It's a picture in your mind of confidence. If you see someone walking down the street who's confident, I want you to have an image of yourself being that person. Put your head on their body, or maybe put your body in that scene, and just how do they carry themselves? They strut down the street confidently, like not a care in the world. I want you to create an image. It could be a movie, it could be a picture, whatever it is for you. Okay. Have you got your picture? Give yourself a moment to really build a picture of confidence, of calm, of safe, of secure. Your anxiety antidote. You've got your words. Excellent. You've got your picture. Perfect. Now we're going to do a little tweaking to your picture inside your brain. So close your eyes, and as you close your eyes, picture this scene in your mind. Picture it really vividly. And I want you to see how far it is in front of you in physical space. As you've got your eyes closed, so you're imagining it. But where is it? If it's out in front of you, I want you to bring it a little bit closer. Just close enough that it feels more real to you. You're looking at yourself, remember. And soon we'll flick that around and you'll be in that picture. But for the moment, we want to be what's called disassociated. Drag that picture in your mind closer to your eyes until it feels right for you to be real. Excellent. Now this feeling in the body, feeling in your body right now, I want you to ramp up that feeling of safety, of confidence, of security. Ramp it up, make it bigger inside you. Ask yourself the question, where does it live inside your body? That picture inside you. And if it lives in your heart, or it lives in your stomach, wherever it is fine. And just notice the color of that feeling of calm and safety and security. It might be whatever it is for you. And remember that color. And now I want you to remember the shape of that feeling inside your body that's associated to this picture. Remember the shape of that color. And finally, what's the texture of that shape? Remember that. And install it into the picture. I think now we have an excellent picture of your anxiety antidote. Now, before we get into the swish, I want you to get out your workbook, and I want to get out your PDF and where you're writing your notes, and I want you to write down the features that you felt in the body. Where is it in the body? That feeling of calm and security and safety. What's the color of it? What's the shape of it? What is the texture of it? And what is the sound of it? What noises, sounds, or words can you hear being said? And install those into your picture. Write those things down because they are very useful to know. What is your construction of calm inside your own brain? Alright, let's get into swishing.